Yeah, but it's okay. So the all-time download is probably it's about 170 downloads.
For an episode, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And most popular episodes we've done for a long time, Mike Hilbig was very near the top, his
Mhm.
first visit.
Right.
But his has been holding kind of steady. JT Townsend's have been high. Like I
Mhm.
said, that
Yeah.
the Ken Williams episode about Manson was high.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Chef Troy Tucker
Mhm.
was way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we might know why. Terry probably tuned into that one multiple times, I would think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Could be.
But let me refresh your
Mhm.
memory on what our first episode of 2024 was. Uh, just looking at that. January 8th, 2024. Um, Moments in Time, music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Do you remember that very well?
Um, I was barely on that one. I think I was at a ball game.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
That's with Tom Locke. It was a good one.
Mhm.
He's very, some of our guests come like really polished, like
Yeah.
they have their own background, they have
Used to being interviewed.
media that they want to share with us and stuff.
Mhm.
And that was
Okay.
Tom. Um, it was a good episode. I enjoy all of our episodes that center around music, whether it's book club or those are my favorites. Do you remember much about that episode,
Um, no,
Lise?
I don't remember much ever. I might have to have that looked into.
Well, I remember that he had a radio station
Mhm.
that, like every Saturday night, they would play. They would list.
Music of the
But
50s, 60s, and
right,
70s.
right. But they'd publish a list so you could
Uh-huh.
anticipate, the
What the
music that was going to
songs
be
are.
played.
Okay.
And that's become like a popular thing for, like, I believe Dave and Marianne are sometimes played on VXU or something that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it might not be VXU. It might be an internet radio station. Now that I think about it,
Mhm.
but yeah, he was good. He was kind of a treasure trove of
50s, 60s, and 70s music knowledge.
exactly. Ironically,
Mhm.
given the
Title of the
yeah
podcast.
title of the podcast. Yeah, we
Yeah.
And
did.
the
We finally got, or we got
general
Tango.
finally flipped at dawn.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right, right. We finally got Tango back, and now
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to get her back again. But this was a review of a MASH episode of Rerun Forensics with Tango,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that.
Probably remember some of that episode.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah. Well, you remember all the episodes. You're like
Mhm.
encyclopedic, but um. So how racist was that episode? It
What
was
do you
pretty.
mean?
The general flipped it. What do you mean? What I mean? It's like,
Oh yeah,
don't you
yeah.
remember the song that
It's
Potter sang at
very
the end of it?
racist.
And
Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's right.
wasn't Potter.
yeah,
It was I can't
yeah,
remember the
right.
Yeah,
general's name.
general.
It was Harry
He's
Yeah.
the
Morgan.
one that flipped at dawn.
Yeah,
Right. He lost his marbles.
yeah. I guess you'd really
Yeah.
have a story there if it was actually
Mhm.
Sherman T. Potter that
Yeah.
went off
But
with
it
it.
was the era it was the first time that Harry Morgan was on MASH.
Yeah,
And he I think that was his role. He had that role and then he came back as as Potter. He
Colonel
was
Potter.
there wasn't like another role in between. Like
right,
they have a lot of actors who played multiple roles. They would come back as different characters.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
it's since then, since we did that episode,
Hmm.
I see spam or I see advertisements and clickbait. And
Hmm.
I've noticed it's like these shows could not be produced today, and they would show an image of MASH, and sometimes it would be once or twice I've seen this, and like I know at least one time it was an image from that episode.
Hmm.
It's like
Oh
that
wow.
episode is I don't know I'm sure we talked about it at the time,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
I know we did, but
Yeah. Ridiculous.
historically, it's being cited as really kind of a
It was super racist,
yeah,
but I feel like canceling things because they're quote unquote racist. Um, if we don't review the past, we're doomed to relive it.
right. Just like
So
James Jones said,
right,
People's
right.
Temple.
And I think other people have said that.
Yeah,
Um,
actually.
like for instance, I think
I think
that's
wasn't the general like relieved of his
Sue.
command in the end of that?
Yes, he was.
So
He was
there were
taken away in
consequences.
a padded truck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Somewhat redeemable
right.
message, I guess, but still.
But first, a number. Come on, boy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's
A
right.
good old Southern number.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Cringe, cringe,
There.
cringe.
Now we can't post this episode because it's racist.
I'll edit it. I gotta watch Use who I gotta watch.
Leave it. People need to understand that these things aren't acceptable. And that's a teachable
No,
moment. Mhm.
I love MASH. It's
Yeah.
among my
Yeah.
favorite shows of all time, but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
that's that's what's out there anyway.
There are some racial issues. For instance, after the first season, the main black character, Spear Chucker,
Right.
okay, based on his football prowess, but still the character's name was Spear Chucker. But he wasn't around after the first season, and then there
He
really
was in
were
the movie
no
and in the
black
book.
characters after.
He was
Do
in the
what?
he was in the book also.
Yeah.
He was in the movie and the book, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was in the TV show for the first season, but the after the first season he was gone. And there were no regular black characters. There was a nurse that came in intermittently, but after that, no. And that was a point of contention, racially speaking, in the public.
Yeah.
But nothing was ever really done about it. For
Right.
instance, Charles Emerson, there's no reason why Charles Emerson Winchester couldn't have been black. But they tried to cite the fact that
Mm,
Klinger was, I
it was
guess, was
it
he
was the
Armenian?
1950s and he was a fancy surgeon from Harvard, so he
Right,
pretty much had to be a white guy.
Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were other characters they could have brought in. For instance, instead of, well, I mean, I could not let go of Klinger, but they could have had, there could have been somebody, you
Yeah,
know,
there's tons of corporals and privates.
right? That they could have added in, like that one, the cook. Well,
Yeah.
still,
Well, let's move on.
but yeah.
1985 movies of 1985.
Mhm.
Um,
BJ could have been black.
could have been.
No
Yeah.
reason not to be. No offense to the actor who played him.
Movies of
Mike
1985. I
Farrell.
can't remember. I've got to go back and research. Do you remember who won the movies of 1985? The
I'll take a look, let you know
YUH?
in a minute.
Definitely wasn't mine or Aaron's.
Could have been mine.
It could have been.
Mhm.
Yeah, it could have been the Woody Allen movie.
Oh yeah, that might have been.
It was the Purple Rose of no, yeah, Purple Rose of Cairo,
Yeah.
Yeah, which like I'm
which was
highly
mine.
gullible. I mean, I like that movie. I didn't, that wasn't my selection,
Mhm.
but I really liked that movie.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good piece of cinema.
Right.
Ooh, ooh,
Is
ooh.
homage
Let
to
me
the cinema.
let me
Number
pause.
2 is Back to the Future. Number 3, Breakfast Club.
Check out my exercise equipment that I got for Christmas.
Yeah.
Was that a stepper?
Plastic realness. Yeah, it's literally plastic. Hmm.
Well,
So
our last one was not very,
we did 3 years of movies this year.
Yep.
yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed that we managed to get in 3 whole years.
Well, it seems we've lost our panel. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
well,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened, but Bill doesn't even respond. And it's like, it's like everybody's apathetic. It's probably our fault for having so much time in between the episodes.
Yeah,
But
we
Yeah.
both moved.
yeah.
Right,
Oh, that was
right.
a disaster. That was a
Yeah.
big, I mean, we're happy now. But
Complaining about the time frame of the other movies too.
yeah,
85 took what, 4 months?
right.
5 months?
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
it's fun. The thread is fun because
You need
people
time
bring
to
us.
watch all those movies.
Right, but I think most of our panel do not watch all those movies.
Right.
Right. And I had already seen them, so I didn't really need to watch them.
Well,
Some of them I watched. I think I watched a couple again because Philip was watching them. But I mean, my main source of entertainment in 1985, 86, 87, and possibly even 88 was just going to the movies. So
well, that's the thing. A lot of people
I
have
didn't
seen
enjoy
these movies.
drinking and, yeah.
Have seen these movies in the 40 years since they were released. You know, it's
Right,
like
right.
we're I've
Or
not really.
already saw them the year they were
I never
released.
realized how few movies I've
Mhm.
watched over my time.
Lifetime.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Back to the Future. I know Back to the Future. Well, have you ever actually watched it? And it's like, well, up until a couple years ago, no. It's like it's part of the
Mhm.
culture. You think you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
you actually,
You see bits and pieces on cable probably 100
yeah,
times.
right, right. You
Right,
know
right.
the iconography. You know who acted in it. You know quotes from it and
Yeah.
shit, but maybe
Mhm.
you didn't even see it. So,
Yeah.
When I worked at Burbank's Real Barbecue
Hmm.
doing the barback stuff, they always played
oh,
movies
hold on,
during the
Aaron.
day.
God damn it, what's going
What?
on? Hold on.
Something's going on with our internet.
Huh?
I think we need a new router or whatever it's called. Is
Well,
that a router?
the Zoom's working.
Okay. Okay. Do you need me to move?
Oh, damn it.
Oh, what happened?
We got a fucking Mickey Mouse operation here. That's what's happening.
Oh, okay. Oops. The need for speed. Where's that coming from?
I think that's Top Gun, which I've never seen.
Can you just turn the TV off?
I did.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try this, just in case. Okay. I turned off my PC just in case.
Well,
Okay.
what's going on?
Let's see. Here.
Okay. Hmm. It's got to be something there. There's like 50,000 things open. Close them.
It's not. I've rebooted the computer. It's picking up two fucking signals at the same time.
Okay, but where could this other signal be coming from? Could it be the neighbors?
What problem is it causing?
I don't fucking know.
I mean,
Damn it.
Okay,
the video
let me
seems
come out of
fine.
here.
You haven't so much as
Do we want
stuttered.
to come back in 15 minutes? Take a
Yeah.
break? Okay. Let me get out so that you can get to everything. Please, I have to leave the room. I'm sorry, hon. Are we in a hurry? I can't leave the room. No.
Another speaker.
Oh, it's just a speaker. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to use that tone with you.
All right. Can you say something?
Boom Shanka.
All right.
Boom,
I don't
shanka,
know what the
shanka.
fuck is happening, but it's picking up signals. It's Bluetooth device that I've got hardwired in.
Oh,
I would have thought the
Bluetooth.
hardwire would cancel the Bluetooth, but it's like it's pulling both signals in. So
So were you getting an echo or something?
No,
I
it
was
just taking
getting
over the
TV
sound.
sounds coming over. It
Oh,
canceled you out, and it was like,
got it. What I was saying was when I worked at Burbank's Real Barbecue, they would play movies during the day,
yep.
Mhm.
and it would be Naked Gun, 33 and a third, the one with Reggie Jackson,
Oh yeah, yeah. With
and
with
uh,
the
There's
Angels,
one with
and
Reggie
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I had never seen either one of those for years all the way through, but I would hear them all day long. I could probably quote lines from them all day long,
Right, right.
but it would be years before I sat down and watched either of those movies from front to back.
Mhm.
right? I think it's it rings a bell. That's kind of been my experience too.
Mhm.
Like I worked at UDF, and they would play previews of movies on a loop, and I'd be on third shift, and all night long I'd hear this
Mm.
Dirty Dancing.
Preview.
Yeah, and I got so sick of that song, it's like, yeah, I had the time of my life, and they're like balancing on
Mhm.
the whatever, but it's
The
Hmm.
like,
balance beam.
yeah, and it's like,
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
never
think
did
I
see
was
Dirty
working there
Dancing.
about the same
Because
time
of
as you.
that, or just in general?
I hate, yeah, well, I was naturally like repelled
Hmm.
by it, and so I
Was it
didn't
was
want
it
to
an
see it.
87 movie?
I
Hmm.
don't know what year. It'd have to be after 86
Hmm.
because I was out of high school, I think.
Yeah,
Up,
but it could have been on video from an earlier year.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
anyway.
see.
Um,
I think that might have been one of the 87s.
Mhm.
Maybe not though.
but it wasn't a bad movie. It's just I got so sick of it and I hated that song. That's all.
It wasn't a good movie if you ask me.
What year was Dirty Dancing released? 87.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
my
thought so.
story rings true.
Uh-huh. Or
Checks
at
out.
least it
I
rings
thought it was
relevant.
on the most recent list.
Yeah.
Although we were just looking at 85, so it comes after 1985.
Well, we got Trish Rainoni from Pink is In. I really thought Pink
That
is
was
In.
good.
That was a good.
That's a good show.
We had both
Yeah,
I hope it comes back.
Trish and the creator was on,
Mhm. Yeah.
Kim Lombard.
yeah,
Those
Kim.
and they were great.
Hmm.
Kim seemed to really enjoy our format. Some guests really seemed to gravitate
Gravitate. Yeah,
to
they
our
like it.
format. They like it and everything. And he was one.
Yeah.
And he actually recommended Trish to come on, and she's a really
Hmm.
funny comic
Yeah, she was
actress.
funny.
Um,
Hmm.
but Canadian, but Pink is In. I don't know
Hmm.
if it's coming back, but at least the first season is out there.
Both of them and some of the other people do want it to, but desire and reality or don't always meet in the middle.
Right.
Hence stalkers.
And we
Stalker.
had Will Cooper.
Hmm.
Yep. Will
Yeah.
Cooper, one of his many visits. Always
We were
enjoy having him.
still hoping the
A,
election at that point.
a
Yeah.
perennial visitor to our podcast.
He's great. I love Will.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's awesome.
Then
Yeah.
uh
He was
then the
like,
Sirens of Titan. Is that the last book we did?
No,
No, we did
Tender is the Flesh.
Acheron. And then Tender is the Flesh. You're right.
Yeah.
mhm.
We'd like to
Wait,
do some more books.
Mm,
Is that a is that your first Vonnegut novel?
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. I never,
Yeah, it was definitely my first entire Vonnegut novel.
it was, yeah, yeah, Lisa, it was the thing about the book club that,
Hmm.
and Terry, we talked to Terry about this. It was like,
Hmm.
the whole idea is we're trying different people's books, right? Like we're reading Water for
Hmm.
Elephants
The
with
idea is to
Terry.
be exposed to things we might not normally read.
We read the book
Hmm.
that that Thea brought. What was that? It was like,
The
Acheron.
romance,
it's like,
Cheryl and Kenyon.
yeah,
Hmm.
Acheron.
stuff
Yeah,
we would.
Acheron.
But it's then when it comes to reciprocating, we're finding that we're not.
We're not getting
So
that
it's like Lisa will
reciprocation.
throw something out there, and it's like, oh well, I'm not interested in that. And Terry's like, well,
That's not my
and
genre.
then
Uh,
Terry was, what'd she tell us? She
Well,
said,
she said that we need to make a book club for
uh,
that genre. And I'm like, no, the point of our book club is to expose people to different things, to get a group of people together who are open to different ideas. These people pretended to be open to different ideas until we read their book. And then once we were done reading their book, they were out. They're not interested in reading anybody else's
Well,
book.
they
So
might be interested
And
in the next
that's,
book.
hmm?
They might be interested in the next book.
yeah, they might be.
You never know.
So
Um,
maybe we just got to look at it differently. Like, okay, we're the test lab here.
mhm.
Mhm.
This person's coming
Okay.
on with their book. That doesn't mean they're beholden to coming back for another book.
No,
That's
no.
pretty much the way we do the albums,
But
right?
Yeah.
but
And
here's the
and
thing. I mean,
reading a
the
book takes
albums
a
are
long
more
time. It's sort of a commitment.
It
right,
is. It
exactly.
is.
Yeah, and we're committing to reading these books we have no interest in. Okay? I'm not telling you which books I had no interest in. But after a little bit, except for certain ones, I actually did kind of get into the book and might have even looked at other books from that author. And that's where I think our book club would be a good idea. But we don't seem to be able to get enough people who are open to trying other things. Okay. And you can say that they might be interested in the next book, but they haven't been so far.
Well, Mike has come back. Mike has come back and read
Mm-hmm.
other people's
Yeah.
books,
People
Yeah.
get
and he's a
busy.
writer.
Okay.
You know,
And maybe that's why.
Yeah.
And maybe we will
Thea tossed
eventually
out a
be able
book
to. I just,
suggestion, but it wasn't
mhm.
available at any of my local libraries.
but the
What is it?
I forget what it's
girls,
called.
isn't it called the girl? You talking about Thea's?
The women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
The women.
Women.
I
Okay.
checked it out, and then
Hmm.
my
It
time
expired.
expired before I got a chance to read it. So, but it's
Uh,
there.
Yeah, it's not like at the library at the library. It's on a limited release at our
mhm.
library. So, can you get it like electronically through your library at all?
No, that's the first place I checked. I'll
Mhm.
have to buy it, I guess.
Uh,
Yeah. Well,
why
But
in
that's why I haven't responded to that, is I just can't find it yet.
right, right.
Well, that begs the question: why, just because you're in California, why couldn't you borrow a book from Cincinnati Library?
I
I
do
could
not.
I'd
I
have
don't
to have a
know.
library card there.
You
Or
can use our address
I'm
and
talking
get
about
a library
overhauling the
card.
whole system and making
Right,
Uh,
it a
making it national.
that
national
that
library.
Libby app works pretty well. I got 3 different library cards connected to it.
Okay,
It's just that that book's not available electronically there.
got
The
it.
women.
All right, and then we brought back an episode.
Yeah, I keep getting the movie.
We wanted to showcase our
Who's in
our
Episode
the
4
author
was
of women?
re-released.
we wanted to showcase Isabel's artwork, so we brought back a MASH episode, episode 4, and used a lot of Erin's photos from visiting the MASH site and her artwork to do a video montage. And I hope that Isabel is doing okay, but she's been having some
It's
issues
yeah.
lately, so
Terry's kind of,
we're thinking about her. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
but I hope she enjoyed that. Um,
yeah, that's
a little
why I
bit of,
figure they're both kind of out of book club right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then we did Preacher Stalls: A Second Coming by Gerald Everett, another one of our authors.
Mm-hmm.
We
Gerald Everett Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we get
That was a
more
good one.
authors that want to come on than anything,
That was
Mm-hmm.
in
obviously.
a series, right? It was like a
Yeah,
first of a series.
Yeah, the Preacher series.
Hmm.
That's the character, or I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was good. I enjoyed,
Mhm.
I try to find the good in every every book that comes on, but I genuinely enjoyed that one.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it sounds like we're just bending over backwards
Right.
trying to compliment people, but
Kind of religious
No, that was a good book.
apocalypse kind of deal.
invest time in something, and I think you're naturally inclined at the
Mhm.
end to feel like, well, I didn't waste my time here. This was
Mhm.
a good
Okay.
read. Yeah.
He tries to push that agenda whenever I go, another book. When are we doing the
Mhm.
podcast? Oh, in 3 days. You
Yeah.
told me about it, and we're doing the podcast in 3 days.
Well,
When am I going to read the book?
I'm having a real tough time with
Hmm.
I love the guest.
Scheduling reality?
No,
Oh,
the guy that's coming on next week,
okay.
Richard Sparks.
Hmm.
I know, Aaron, you said you read that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty good one.
I'm having a tough time my eyesight is such I cannot hardly read anymore off a
Hmm.
book, off a
Need
page.
new glasses.
Yeah, and I need to go to ophthalmologist really.
Yes, you do.
But
You need an
anyway,
appointment
I'm
scheduled.
struggling with that one because I'm not the PDF. I'm not able to use
Hmm.
the Apple voice
Hmm.
to play.
Uh,
It keeps interrupting and
Hmm.
stalling, and
I
so
think that might be our internet.
can you do you mind do you
Mhm.
mind like if you got time, just like paragraph on it or something?
yeah,
Write a book
I'll
report.
I'll zip back through it and get all the characters straight 'cause I probably read 10 books since then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're always
Yeah,
popping.
you're a prolific reader. More than I, and I mean, you don't find a
Well,
lot of people who read more than I do.
I'm not working and I got these shelves full of books I've never read because the previous owners left them behind.
Oh, cool.
And the wife was a librarian
Oh,
Oh my
at
God.
at um at Cal State Northridge, and
oh,
the
cool.
husband's a retired professor at USC.
Mm.
So some people bring Chick-fil-A home after work, and she brought books. So,
Oh my God.
It's yeah, hundreds of books.
The
So I
dream
just find
of
I find the ones with provocative titles and pull them off the shelf. No, this one's next.
inheriting a library.
Yeah,
I mean, wow.
some are in boxes under the ping pong table because we're out of shelf space.
Mm.
all right.
Well, you got to build a library.
We did an Aaron's Audio Edibles with
Hmm.
our friend from the
Smoking
Smoking
Cobras,
Cobras, Kevin
Kevin.
McShane.
Hmm.
That
Wind
album,
and
I did.
Wuthering by Genesis.
Yeah, I love Kevin. He's cool. Didn't care for the album too much. It was okay. I
I
mean,
Yeah,
don't
I
think
that
you
could
care for
I
Genesis
could
that much.
recognize the talent
it's
and everything.
the early Genesis especially can be a slog, and this the
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
it's not for everybody.
my favorite song off of it was the pop song, "Own Special Way." That should tell you.
Yeah,
That says a lot right there, I think.
yeah.
But there was a lot
I
to
kind of
unpack.
prefer the Peter Gabriel stuff to this, but it's not that different.
Yeah,
So if you didn't like this, you probably wouldn't like that either.
my boss loves Peter Gabriel, and I had a discussion with him about the album.
Hmm.
He likes it, of course, but just not my bag. Um, but this next one was number one record.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Big Star. We finally got around to that one.
yeah, that was awesome. I
Hmm.
really like that. It's kind of a grassroots record, rock and roll the way it's supposed to be, kind of.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think they were Memphis based.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And of course, we love having Will and anybody from Rock and Roll Heaven on. It always makes it like a, kind of like a family thing almost.
Hmm.
Yeah, it took a long time for us to get to that record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was
We,
that?
we,
Was
we
it our scheduling or Will's
Well, yeah,
scheduling
little
you
of,
know,
little of both. We just kind of dropped the
Yeah.
ball on it.
Yeah.
We dropped the ball on the Frank Zappa best band you never heard in your life too.
well, we want to pick the ball back up on that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
We
obviously.
were going to have Chris Plain on for that and Jeremy,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
we can reach back or ask them.
And Chris Wells.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
Chris Wells. So
Yeah. So let's send out
let's
a
go ahead
And
and
then
ask them, send them 3 dates and see if they can,
then we had Ann Montgomery back for another. Again, I
yeah,
enjoyed that one.
Hmm.
Um,
that book was Your Forgotten Sons.
right, World War II story,
Yeah.
kind of a
And then
melancholy story.
then the Ebony Hustle movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I love those. Mhm.
yeah. I don't think you were with us for the first Ebony Hustle.
I wasn't, but I watched the first one before watching the second one, and they were awesome.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I like the first one better because it's more,
Well,
I don't know. The
that's the
second
case with
one
most
was
things.
more realistic, less kind of, I don't know how to
Yeah,
describe it.
they lost a couple of the actors in between too.
Yes. Hmm.
Well,
I know one of them, did both of them pass or they just, one of them passed away, right?
Oh, one of them might have passed, but
Yeah.
there were some that were involved in other projects or whatever
Right.
too.
Mhm.
Some roles couldn't be reprised, and was it supposed to be almost immediately following the events of the first one?
Close,
I
yeah,
can't
I
pretty
remember.
think.
much.
not
Yeah,
too far off, but
Yeah.
it felt like she was in a very different place in her life. So it gave
Yeah.
it a feeling of time had passed more than like a few months.
right. He's very supportive of our show. I get messages from him every once
Yeah,
in a while.
No,
Keeps
cool.
me updated on
what
his
Those
he's
other
doing.
projects
projects.
he's doing. So we might
Yeah,
have him back again.
definitely.
Yeah.
Lisa and him really hit it off talking. Him your sci-fi
Right.
fascination.
We have a
He kind of is
sci-fi
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Same way with
partnership.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh,
have a couple of sci-fi husbands online.
Yeah.
then we had
Hmm.
Keith Mason, Please Stand Up. Um, I really, that was a good
Oh
one. I
yeah,
thought.
that his dad was on To Tell the Truth, right?
Yeah,
Right, right.
he sent a real nice email when we were done
Hmm.
saying that, we
Hmm.
did a good job
Yeah.
packaging that one. It
That was cool. That was a really interesting
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Um,
thing.
Pause for just a moment. Okay. Aaron, do you hear like a water fountain sound in the background here?
No, I hear a vacuum cleaner upstairs and a dog barking behind me.
Oh, okay. But I meant like from our end. Okay, good to know.
No, I,
'Cause
I hear these
we
other
bought a
sounds
water
coming through my
fountain
microphone and into my. I'm producing my own noise.
and we don't hear the noise around you. So yeah, we bought a water fountain for the cats. So they really seem to like it.
Yeah, about half the stuff in his house is for the cat.
Oh,
Yeah,
be quiet.
Yeah. And we're really concerned about whether or not they like it. And if they don't, we'll take it back and get something else.
We don't take it back. We just get something else.
Cat doesn't.
And then
yeah.
it sits
We
around
got
the house or we donate it in the hopes that someone else's cat will like it. Which
we
is
got a
why
new kitty
most of
condo
the
after we moved
cat
in.
stuff is do what, Aaron?
We got a new kitty condo after we moved in here.
Yeah,
Oh, did
that's a
you?
good
And
idea.
then
Did your cats have any trouble adjusting?
no, well, the old kitty condo was falling apart as it was. Every time the boy cat would get to the top, it would go back and forth and back and forth. It was barely holding on, and you couldn't screw it in anymore.
Right.
Well, then we had author
No, no,
Rhonda
actually, we
Taylor.
we we did move it, and it broke apart taking it off the truck.
Oh,
Ah,
wow. Well, at
But it
least
was,
your cats approve of the house. You don't have to move.
oh yeah, the cats love the house.
That's good.
have you considered screening in that porch where you are
No,
to give them a little extra?
no,
Okay.
Because we've thought about that.
Oh,
yeah.
we're going to. They are going to get an outdoor catio.
She wants to blow a hole in the back of the house so the cats can get in and out of the house into a catio. I'm like,
Okay. Rephrasing, I want to put in a tiny little 4-inch cat door so they can get into a space designed outside for them.
you know,
Mhm.
doors go both ways. And sometimes
Mhm.
it might not be the cat coming back in.
There's going to be a
It'd be
cage
screened in
outside
though,
the
right?
door, a screened in cage.
Okay.
How are your
We'll talk about it.
mysterious animals going to be getting into
But
the
we live in the
cage?
middle of a meadow. I mean, it's like
Mhm.
field mice, It's like natural.
Yeah, if they
We
can get through
already know there's
the
mice.
mesh.
They were they were in the attic.
Yeah,
And we can put like a screen door on it. They don't come through screen doors unless they eat through them.
which they
In which
do.
case they're determined.
They do.
Honey,
Yeah.
honey, we're getting a catio, we're putting in a cat door.
So then we had
I love you.
Rhonda Taylor Parker with Crossroads, her book Crossroads. Another quick read that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She also introduced us to Bob Gonzalez, her friend, who came on
Mm-hmm.
down the line. We had Kelda Music,
Mm-hmm.
very talented lady. Enjoyed that one. Aaron
Yeah.
wasn't present for that one.
Yeah, I think I popped on right at the end. I think I had
Yeah,
a softball game or something.
Yeah.
she was cool. She had a line of berets. Her thing
Mm-hmm.
is berets, and
Oh wow.
she has like I don't know, she had a purple one on I think that day,
Mm-hmm.
but she's a rapper, R&B singer,
Mm-hmm.
host, for events and
Yeah.
stuff in San Francisco. She's really cool. She's in a sitcom
Mm-hmm.
with a
Yeah, she's
comedian.
got a lot of stuff on her YouTube, right?
Yeah, kill the music.
with a Z, Muzik.
Yeah, the stylish way.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did another Between the Covers. This was mine.
Mm-hmm.
Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl.
The
About
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Brownstein's
Mm-hmm.
right.
memoir.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was one I enjoyed.
Yeah. That's good.
Went over not
Yeah.
just the book, but talked about
Mm-hmm. Music,
Portlandia and
Portland. Yeah.
Slater Kinney and
Mhm.
Slater Kinney.
Red Armisen.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, then we had Heather Shafter, a, a civil rights act or human rights activist, I guess. She wrote a book about her colleague Libby. Um, what's Libby's last name? Uh,
She spent her entire life working towards
Libby
human
Frank.
rights.
Libby Frank, right?
Libby Frank, yeah.
And she had a good time. She told us afterwards,
Mhm.
she did a Facebook message. She
Mhm.
enjoyed the Elite Eight that we did.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
really like doing the Elite Eights, but they take forever to edit because
Mm.
I try to get them down to real size,
Yeah.
like less than a minute
Yeah.
Mhm.
and put graphics and
Mhm.
shit in there. And I think they turn out pretty good, but
Sometimes we'll go
probably,
on a 6 minute tangent off of one.
yeah,
Mhm.
right, right. The one we did our last episode, in fact, went for about half an hour
And
because,
I think that comes from our guests not necessarily being as finished with the episode as you are.
well, it's my,
I feel like you
Mhm.
have a time frame and the guests aren't always ready. Uh, We're
And
so
that's why we
entertaining.
give them the Elite
We're
Eight.
so good,
It's it's it's
but
bonus time.
maybe we should ask them what they want. I know you like the Elite Eight and you worked on it,
yeah,
hon.
right.
Both of you. You did good. But I don't think the guests are always open to
It
the
was,
Elite Eight
oh,
and they don't know how to say no.
well, I would say,
Like, for instance, the one guy definitely wanted to read excerpts from his book. And I think that, like you, he had an agenda and was not able to adjust
yeah,
very well.
Eric
And I think,
Sonnenstein, yeah.
yeah, I think we should be more open to what the guests
Well,
want
I do usually tell them
than
that this is an
agenda.
option and that you
Uh-huh.
don't have, if you don't want to do this, then that's
What?
fine.
No, it's rude,
Well, you
you
make a
know?
good point there, I guess.
Okay. I understand you're giving them an option, but them not being open to it would be a little bit.
You locked up there for a second, Aaron. I didn't know
I
if
froze a couple times there. Yeah.
your
Hmm.
Starlink may
Yeah.
have cut out. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah.
But,
I need to
I
get it
mean,
mounted. I have
yeah,
an
the
obstruction.
Elite Eight. The thing is, sometimes with the Elite Eight, it takes longer to explain it than it does to actually do it.
well,
Yeah, we got to stop explaining it.
Yeah.
either
Just
that or
go
do
into
it
it.
in a very
Just tell them it's
concise,
the Elite
well, it's
Eight. You know what it is.
very concise, entertaining way. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Mhm.
like they do Rock and Roll Heaven when they talk about when
Okay.
LD
Hmm.
does her the
Mm.
the band the band that they always refer to.
Mm. Okay, I
Oh,
get it.
Manfred
You-
Mann, Manfred
the,
Mann's Earth Band.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man, for
Manfred
me,
Mann's
the
Earth
way they
Band
work that into the if you could
every
do it in a
episode.
concise way, like
Hmm.
10 seconds, then yeah, then that's cool. But
Well, that would have to be something that replaces the Elite Eight.
maybe I'll delegate that responsibility to you.
Okay. Okay. Hi. We'd like to play a game now. We're going to present you with two options. Pick one.
It already took too long.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
took too long.
Exactly. Now we're going to play something we call the
You just
Elite
say Ginger or Marianne, and then they
Two
start.
options.
You're in. Say
Hmm.
we got the Elite Eight here.
Hmm.
A
Ginger or
or B.
Marianne, I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good way to put it.
Hmm.
Just think Ginger and
Hmm.
Marianne. Here we go. All right.
Okay, so what are some other uh Pam Anderson or Pam uh
That you spray on your cookware.
no, Pam Anderson from WKRP in Cincinnati or Pam
No, it's
from The
Yeah,
Office?
that's Lonnie. Yeah.
Pam Anderson's not WKRP. That's Lonnie
Oh,
Anderson.
Lonnie Anderson.
We know
Okay,
about
Yeah,
WKRP, right? Yeah.
okay. And her character name. What was her character name?
Jennifer.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh, we could do that too.
remember,
Jennifer Anderson or
He's
Jennifer
wearing his
Lawrence?
He's wearing his WKRP shirt, so he's
Right. Mm-hmm.
okay, so movie. I really enjoyed Young Frankenstein. I'd seen it when I was a
hmm
kid. I didn't get
Mm-hmm.
all the, I was so young. I didn't really even get all the
Get all the
jokes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's a
That
yeah.
boring
that's one
movie,
I
or
watch about once a year and I laugh all the time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the guest was
Especially when
great.
you hear the horse's name after Frau. I never get her name. I always want to say Farbissina, but that's the one from Austin Powers.
Yeah,
Bucher, was it?
yeah, Frau Bucher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Cloris Leachman something the other day. That was like from the 40s or 50s. It's
Twilight Zone.
the
The
Twilight
episode
Zone.
with
Yeah.
where with Ron Howard plays a kid with like superpowers.
No, it wasn't Ron
Yeah.
Howard, but it's
Yeah,
like
it
Ron
was
Uh,
Ron
Howard.
Howard.
Well,
It was
maybe.
Ron Howard.
Okay, I don't want to die on that hill,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was like she was in her 20s or something. I mean, it was amazing. I was like, is that
mhm.
to the point where you had to really say, I think that's, yeah, I think that's Cloris Leachman, you know.
Yeah.
Was
Uh,
Ron Howard in the Twilight
Terry
Zone?
Gar.
Yeah.
uh, well, he may have been, but not that episode.
Yeah. R.I.P. Terry Gar, by the way.
Ron Howard was on the Twilight Zone in 1969 or
This was
59.
I was
okay.
gonna say
Well,
69, he'd have been older.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
was 59. For not knowing, writer director was on the famous actor. Okay, yeah, the Wilcox boy. He wasn't the central character in the episodes. Okay, so
well, who?
who did play that kid?
I don't know, but everybody was
Okay,
scared to death of him because he would. What did he do with the one guy? He like said, "You should be out on a windmill on the top," and he just disappeared.
Mhm.
yeah,
The kid had like the superpower where he could destroy anybody he wants to, and the whole city was petrified of him because
Yeah, I think I remember that one.
yeah,
I think The Simpsons might have done a Treehouse of Horror based on it too.
right. The one guy, it was his birthday party, and he got started getting drunk, and he got belligerent with the kid. He was like, "Well, are you to dominate all our lives or whatever?"
Anthony Fremont.
Okay,
Okay,
and so the kid took care of him. But
he does look like
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
Kind of like
one,
Children of the Corn too.
yeah,
Okay, I remember him and other stuff.
Twilight Zone is great.
Yeah.
It's a good watch,
Yeah.
even if it is corny and old. But
Yeah. I'm gonna need about a 1 minute break.
all right,
Bladder break.
got it.
Called It's a Good Life. It's a good life. Anthony Fremont, actor. Billy Mummy. Okay. I've seen him in other things. Billy Mummy. The character was Anthony Fremont. Um, the actor was Billy Mummy. Pretty
Well,
sure you'll
when I
remember
told
that
you it
name.
wasn't Ron Howard, I should have said, "It's
Hmm.
not Ron Howard. It's Opie Cunningham."
It's Little Opie Cunningham.
Who, Opie Cunningham. That was a
Okay.
Eddie
Who's
Murphy
the
bit.
author of that
Yeah.
book? The Women.
Oh, I don't remember.
The Women by Sharp.
Okay, so who was the winner of the movies of 1986? Or what was the winner?
I tell you, mister.
This is the series where we right the wrongs of the Academy and
We award the Felix instead of the Oscar.
Yeah.
Right.
Results. Aliens, followed
Now,
by
The
Stand By
women
Me,
who
Ruthless
made the
People,
art
and
of
Blue
having an
Velvet.
opinion.
what'd you say, Aaron?
Sorry.
Aliens, followed by Stand By Me, Ruthless People, Blue Velvet, Maximum Overdrive.
Okay. I was a convert to Aliens. I really dreaded watching it, didn't care about it, didn't like the first one. Probably might like it if I go back and watch it again. But you know what? When those movies came out, I don't think I was watching it on a big screen TV, and I didn't see it at the theater.
Yeah,
So you really need to see those movies. And they're dark, but if you see them in a high def screen and everything, they're pretty spectacular.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I'll probably go back and watch Alien now, but I did enjoy Aliens.
Alien's not quite as good. It's good, but it's all right, but it's not.
Well, it's very
Aliens is known to be the better movie. It's kind of like if you're going to watch
I
one
don't think
of
you
the
have the
Evil Dead
Sigourney
movies,
Weaver,
watch the
Weaver in her
second one.
panties in Alien, just Aliens.
Mhm.
Aliens, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I
Alien,
could be
Alien was
wrong.
the first one, right?
Yeah,
Yes, but is that why I'm watching the movie?
I don't.
To see Sigourney Weaver in her underwear.
That's the lasting image when you're 13 or
Yes,
whatever we were.
right, right.
Right,
That was hot,
right.
right? She was like, that was
Yeah.
she was like a soldier. She was cool.
Yeah, there's a reason why for many, many years Philip referred to her as so horny Weaver.
Oh,
I did do that. It's unacceptable today to do that. So
I'm
I
fine
stopped
with it.
that probably
Didn't bother
5
me. I don't care who revs the engine as long as I get to drive the car.
years.
On the Road with Linda Chadwick.
Yes. I enjoyed that one. Didn't get a lot of listens for whatever reason, but man, she rubbed elbows with a lot of,
You gotta you gotta include a video of what's happening out there.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's coming down.
It's coming down and it's supposed to come down for at least the next day.
Yeah, might
Oh,
get
wow.
So we've
Snow or
already, it
rain?
looks like we've already got more inches than we've had in 3 years.
So it's
cool thing
snowing?
about Linda, she lived in South America, like Jamaica or something.
Yeah, I caught just the
Yeah.
end of that one too.
Yeah,
Well, Mexico.
yeah, I did think,
Mexico, no, where my cousin was living with his wife. Um, my
Costa
cousin
Rica?
Scott. Yeah, Costa Rica. Mhm.
well, and she said,
Yeah.
very reasonable rent,
Well, it was 1,600 for a two-bedroom, two-bath condo type thing
very comparable to
for
here.
a rental. So it was comparable to here.
Not there,
And
not,
you get,
not where
I
Aaron's from.
know that my cousin and his wife, they owned the house that was there. I don't know why, but they have decided to move back to America. So I think it might be pertaining to his health issues, but I don't know for sure.
So yeah, 178 was reruns, forensics, Better Call Saul,
Mm.
Bagman.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good
that
one.
was a good one. That
Yeah.
um the filmmaker that came on
Mm-hmm.
was for that one, Dan Fisher.
Dan Fisher.
Yeah, he had some advice on social media and reels and things of that nature that he was engaging. Then we had Bob Gonzalez, Flicker in the Water, about fishing. Um, Enjoyed that one. Big Fish
And instead
Stories.
of us being anglers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I must have missed that one entirely.
I think you might have.
Mhm.
He uh he was a big baseball fan. He had a picture of himself with Albert Pujols and
Hmm.
uh, but worked on a fishing boat in Florida.
Okay. I hate to be
That's
the
cool.
one to ask for a little break, but I need something. So if
Okay.
you guys want to, if you need to.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, how much time you got, Aaron? You got the kids are coming, right?
They should be leaving their house between 11 and 11:30, which means they'll be here in 2 hours or more.
Oh, okay. Might be good then.
Be long, I just need something.
Gotcha.
Luca's upset because I didn't bring eggs home yesterday. She told me if they didn't have the right eggs, not to get them. but I didn't tell her I didn't get them because she'd have made me get them from another store. So now
Oh,
she's got to drive an hour.
oh, geez. Yeah, a little thing like that with the distance you have to go can
Yeah.
be a big deal, I guess.
I offered to go myself about 10 minutes into this podcast.
Oh,
And she said no, she'll go.
well, you could. I mean, of course, life is more important than the
Yeah, I'd
podcast.
have, I'd have gone. I just
Yeah,
said, sorry guys, I screwed up yesterday with the groceries. I got to go drive
yeah,
forever. So, Book of Top 10 Horror Lists, Charles Rosenay.
yeah. He was interesting. Has a lot of background in show business.
That's right. He's got the Beatles tour too, right?
Right.
Magical History tour
Yeah.
and the Dracula Castle tour. I remember that.
Speaking of which, we saw Nosferatu
No,
Christmas Day. It was
how does it compare with
okay.
the original?
It's not as good as the original, but I think I'd give it like 7.5 out of 10.
Oh yeah, so you liked it?
Yeah. I fell asleep during it, but that's not a comment on the movie. It's just
Mm.
pretty
It's
wiped
easy
out.
to fall asleep during a movie.
Yeah. The beginning of the movie was the best. The opening sequence was pretty nightmarish, and the whole trip to the castle, the whole journey was like a prolonged nightmare, and all of that was very good. He was creepy, the Count Orlok was creepy in the best sense of the word. Um, the accent that he used was
Mm. It's gotta be silent.
yeah, it should be silent though. But you could see like I'm not completely aware of all of the vampire lore, right? Obviously not.
Mhm.
I know things about like the garlic and you can't see daylight and things of that nature. He's hundreds of years old, that type of stuff. But apparently, I read afterwards the movie was really uh, loaded with all kinds of vampire lore if you were tuned to it,
Like, which movie are we
like
talking about?
Nosferatu.
Oh yeah.
Like some of they spoke in foreign languages that I found out later haven't been spoken in hundreds of years.
Yeah,
Um,
trippy.
that type of thing. But
Orloff.
there were things you could pick up on, like in the original where the vampire goes up the stairwell and you can see his shadow on the wall. In this one, they
Mm.
paid homage to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the fact that he had a mustache, I thought was an homage to Vlad, the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
but of course they had to load up on the special effects as far as like his skin and his features and stuff like that. That some people like. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Anyway,
man, TJ2 the Deuce.
yeah, this was our biggest. I went through my Spotify reel or end of year thing. This was our most heavily downloaded podcast of the year, and that was
Oh wow, on Spotify.
yep, TJ the Deuce with Jailbreak
Mm.
by Thin Lizzy. Love that album,
Thin Lizzy or
Yeah,
Tin Lizzy?
Thin Lizzy.
Okay.
That was a great
What's the
album.
difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
an H.
Between Thin Lizzy and Tin Lizzy.
Oh, that's right. You know what? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. TJ made the point during that podcast that in
Mm-hmm.
Ireland they would pronounce it Tin Lizzy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
That's what you're
pronunciation
referring
based
to.
on their. I thought there was a Tin Lizzy. I did not know there was a Thin Lizzy. So they're the same people. I just had heard the Irish pronunciation,
You heard an Irishman say it,
I
like
guess.
Phil
I
Lynott.
heard of Tin
say
Lizzy.
say
Yes,
tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak lassie.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that we need to get back to those.
Crittens.
Because in Ireland, they have a tendency to colloquialize the H. So it's referred to linguistically, but it's not actually said.
Well,
So they pronounce a THIN or an SHIN would be pronounced differently than we would pronounce it here in America.
well, if the books, all the book reading, if
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a slog for me,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
So a lot of the music is a bit of
it's
a
a
slog for me.
yeah.
Yes.
Lisa's not.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say you're not a music. It's
I'm a
not.
music person. No, I'm not going to sit around the house listening to music. I'm going to turn on a book on audible.com. I exercise audible.com like an obsessive. I mean, I'm literally the whole day I'm working, I'm also listening to a book.
And to be fair, I've stopped listening to a
Mhm.
lot of music, and
Mhm.
I listen to podcasts. I
Yeah.
listen to podcasts all the time. Um, I think that's a lot of people are.
But like growing up in my house, I think we had 10 albums and like 20 48s. And
But
that was it.
I think
Or
we.
I was
45s. And
I
it
was listening to the New Year's Eve Fish show earlier this morning.
mhm.
I feel like, unfortunately, I feel like music has almost become like, for people of our age, like a museum piece or something. You know, it's like something to be talked about and revisited from. It's
Time to
nostalgic.
time.
I'm not speaking of Fish. I know that that's
Mhm.
in the moment for you, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like,
like it's 3 days old.
yeah.
I do like some newer stuff.
Um,
I like a lot of Ed Sheeran stuff.
but I
And
still,
Megan Trainor isn't newer, but I enjoy her. Uh,
I feel like
yeah,
I love going back. I love reviewing music, no matter how old it is, and I feel like
mhm.
that there's still a sense of sadness though
Right,
that
right.
it's not a living thing anymore. It's more of a
Uh,
in the past type of thing. But
yeah, yeah, I can see that.
and
And also there's the fact that I have, and I'm just gonna say the word, and I hate this word. They need to come up with a better name for it. But I do have that misophonia thing. And I know that like Melissa Gilbert has it. So,
I've
there's a
seen it.
celebrity.
I've seen it mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
I
Uh,
do have sensitivity to certain sounds. They make me they affect or trigger negative emotions.
well, no,
And, like for instance, I once told my brother to stop breathing because of the way he eats. Oh my God. I can't even deal with listening to me do it.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. But it just, yeah. And I get that way about certain kinds of music, mostly instrumentals or chaotic music, like for instance, a lot of the chaotic music that, Aaron particularly enjoys and that you enjoy, I find enraging.
Like Ween.
Actually, Ween didn't bother me so much.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that I've tried to listen to from Fish,
Like the
uh,
Todd Rundgren she wasn't in for at all.
right, right, no. And then, like, for instance, straight jazz, like yeah, that kind of thing. I tried to enjoy,
What about Defiant Jazz?
we only listened to like 2 seconds of that. That's not a real genre of jazz. That was
I
something to do
know.
with the
It was a
TV
joke
show.
because we just
Yeah,
So,
watched
we were
Severance.
watching an
so
episode of
listen,
Severance, and oh, go ahead.
listening to people eat kind of leads into Tender is the Flesh with Mike
Yes,
Yes.
Kilby.
yes. Could you imagine
Uh,
if Danny were slurping up that, God
human?
knows what? Yeah, Soylent Green.
No, I'm not worried about what
The
he's
human
eating.
they keep alive and eat a
I
little
could
bit at a
care
time.
less what you're eating as long as you don't do it
I
loudly.
think you would have a reaction to
Mm.
that, especially. But
I'd already be
Well, as
looking
long
for
as
the
you're
vegan
not
option.
sharing, I don't care.
what's that, Aaron?
I'd already be looking for the vegan option.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
So yeah, that book was controversial, obviously.
It was good though.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh,
It was translated from Spanish too.
Right.
Philip went out for emergency supplies because we're going to be snowed in for a couple days potentially. And he came home with food option. He left saying, "What do we have in the way of meals for at least 3 days?" What did you bring home, hon?
Bologna and cheese.
And some KFC. Really, really bad KFC, by the way.
Aaron
Oh,
doesn't
I
give a
know.
shit about
Oh,
chicken.
I know. I'm just,
But I will
Or
tell you
bologna.
about I got a
oh,
4-piece chicken and they gave me 4 wings that are about this big.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
God
was,
bless.
yeah.
Anyway,
And it was supposed to be a 4-piece meal.
yeah.
So he had to go back and get the chicken.
Did anywhere in that book did they say use the term tastes like chicken, tender as the flesh? Because that would have been in bad taste.
I don't think so. I don't see why
Mm,
it
Would
would.
have been a real bad taste to do that.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I
It
saw an
may
interview
have.
with the writer and
Yeah.
she was surprisingly normal, very docile, kind of a gentle lady,
Mm.
That movie or that book was rather
I think a
alarming.
normal person could come up with that idea. I come up with
Yeah.
surprising ideas.
Oh yeah.
Did you write that during the pandemic?
Um,
I don't know. Did you?
I think she may have.
Mm.
Of course, the answer is always at your fingertips. But
Yeah.
why don't you look that up, please?
I think it might have predated that.
So we
Maybe.
had
Okay.
Will Cooper back.
When was Tender in the Flesh written?
We had Will back so we could complain about Trump again. And it had no effect, obviously.
He had another book
2017.
out then, right?
It was originally written in Spanish in 2017
Okay, so pre-pandemic.
by Black Argentinian author,
Argentinian.
Argentinian.
Augustina, Argentinian author. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Something. Deserterica. It was translated into English by Sarah Moses and published in 2020.
Well, that was Mike's choice. He always brings some interesting
Yes.
stuff.
Mhm.
It's a
But
good one.
Hopefully he'll forgive us for whatever we did and come back.
oh, he was
Yeah.
on the
Mhm.
last movie.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding him.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We seem
There's a
to.
mic. Isn't there a mic that's Bill?
Oh yeah, Bill. What the hell's
We need
going
to
on
get
with
Bill
Bill? I
back.
don't understand. He was so gung ho about the movies and then he didn't
Hmm.
participate last time. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, maybe he just
Um,
wasn't available for this last one.
Little League stuff, maybe.
could be.
Could be.
Maybe
Coaching
studying for
stuff,
the
Busy dude.
draft.
maybe.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody
180.
to trade. I'm really itching to trade, and I don't have anybody.
Oh, you are, or
Yeah, I'm always itching to trade, but I don't have anybody I can trade except Alec Burleson. Maybe I could.
you don't have Burleson. Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I'm gonna grab my jacket. It's cold in
I
here.
was thinking Bregman.
When the door is shut, it gets cold.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we're all the way up to 184. That was Matthew Solomon, reimagining safety. All that seems to be. I mean, that was a very thoughtful piece, interesting take on uh, defunding the police, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Um, seems that the country seems to have rejected a lot of that thinking, but it'll probably be revisited fairly soon when people start getting killed and injured again. In fact, it has already happened. Did you see, God, not to fan the flames, but did you see the detained black person that was killed by the police in an interrogation room? I think his name was Robert. I should get his name.
What city?
New York City.
No.
This is important to get his name. Right? I saw it because I was watching Stephen A. Smith talking about football, and he interrupted his monologue about football to talk about this. Um,
Man killed during interrogation in New York City. Okay.
Robert Brooks.
Okay.
Robert
Veteran
Brooks.
subway villain case.
Yeah.
Wasn't told he killed man.
It was brutal. I mean, it was absolutely brutal. You know,
Hmm.
that shit, that isn't off. That, to me, that is
Mhm.
only more likely to keep happening,
Man killed during interrogation. Police.
with Trump in office because he normalizes
Ryan.
inclinations, inclinations and stuff.
It was in Georgia, not New York.
Okay. Anyway, that's enough. Um,
Mhm.
Reimagining Safety with Matthew Solomon
right.
Mhm.
The professor he had on there was good.
Mhm.
And his
in his
documentary.
documentary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he spoke a lot from personal experience and his mother and things that had happened to him.
Mhm.
Um,
Growing up.
yeah. So now we go to Naming Gotham with Rebecca Ratsby's. Another
Which was very interesting and
right,
kind of inspired me, although I don't know I'll actually ever do anything with it.
inspired you in what way?
To maybe look at something like that in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of
Find
in
out
my
why things are
opinion,
named what they are.
right. Right. Who are they named after? Like, for instance, a lot of the streets, I mean, you don't realize it, and it turns out they are named after someone. Someone relevant to that place or time or situation. So, like our street, it's Random Hill, obviously, but why did the streets in this area get named that?
It's just some random
They were
hill.
out of names for years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just call it random. Shove them all over there. Call them
What should we
Random
name this
Hill.
random hill? Well, there you go, son.
It's just some goddamn random hill.
This is where this is the street where the first random took place up here in Mount Healthy. Um,
The first random thing in Mount Healthy?
yeah.
You're funny.
You can call your place Random House
Yeah.
to start
Yeah.
publishing books.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we could
An idea.
rebrand the podcast.
Yeah.
Random House.
We get
Okay,
sued
so
too.
Mhm.
Ed Hartman came back with the scalpel. He's a
That was
film,
really good.
yeah. He's sort of like a film archaeologist. He's fascinated with the work of
Richard Lyford.
Wright, who went on to
Mhm.
become a very successful filmmaker with Disney. But this is some of his early independent work. He did in the
Like
horror genre.
19 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think he's somewhere in the Northwest, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, Seattle.
Seattle-ish.
Hmm.
Portland, Seattle.
Yeah. And Lyford achieved quite a bit with special effects for the time. It was pretty impressive what
Yeah,
he was
cool
able to achieve.
practical effects.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then we had Eric J. Sonnenschein, who we've already mentioned, and Eric was very cool. He was uh, a rock front man back in the 70s and frequent in places like CBGB's and Max's Kansas City. So his book that he wrote about the life of a rock star was semi autobiographical, although you thought that I tried to press the point too much
Hmm.
and that, you know,
Well, I think we thought it was semi autobiographical and you had said it was, but he didn't feel that it was particularly autobiographical.
yeah, he wanted to
He
dispel the
didn't,
notion that it
yeah.
was about him. So,
And
Yeah.
I think it was more about him than maybe he realized. I don't know. But you did kind of shove that one.
well, it matters
Yeah.
not because
Right, right.
it was a fun read. It was
Yeah,
very,
it
yeah, it
was.
was good.
Hmm.
Good job.
Yeah, it was interesting to, and that was the thing when I did the intro. or I did a review on Amazon. And he said he was talking about reading a review that he thought was funny because it said that the person thought it was in a semi autobiographical. And I said, yeah, I think pretty sure that was me. And
So,
he immediately dispelled the idea that it was you know,
Yeah.
so yeah,
And we're down to
188
two more.
um,
mhm,
was part one of the movies of 1987. We've
mhm,
already got the
Oh,
part
there's
two in
more.
the can.
mhm.
I had to scroll.
So we know who the winner is, but we won't
Yeah.
disclose that until we
Yeah,
release.
we wouldn't want to spoil it for you.
And I want to
Mhm,
belabor the point that it was a smaller panel than normal, but we did get
mhm.
enough votes
I
and
think
reviews
that was
to,
partly because of, and we do apologize to
Small
our
panel or not, it
listeners,
was a two-parter.
right?
yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why it was a two-parter is because so many people were unable to show up for the first episode. And so we rescheduled for the second episode for the second half of the movies on the list. And
Yeah.
still some of those people were unable to attend, which, that is what it is. But but yeah, one of the reasons why there were so many problems with 1987 was both Aaron and ourselves moved houses
Yeah.
at the around the same time, and ours was an absolute nightmare. We didn't know when we were going to move. We remodeled. I mean, Aaron bought and moved in less time than it took us to finish
Yeah.
buying the house.
Bought, sold, moved, closed.
Right.
Right. Closed, moved a whole bit. We closed on June 14th and we didn't get to move until November 27th.
Also,
Literally
you
Thanksgiving
closed.
Day.
You closed before we even had any idea that we'd be moving.
Right, right. We closed before they were ready to, to even,
And we put ourselves at the mercy.
I'm gonna tell you I'm very jealous of your process there, Aaron. Extremely jealous.
We put ourselves at the mercy of a
Yeah,
contractor who
right.
I guess they did a good job, but it's
Think it was, I don't think it was outside the realm. So many things got in the way. We had two different people get injured, one of whom is now on disability and no longer works. I mean, not on our job, but they got injured
yeah, don't
while they were doing our job.
they were not in our house when they got hurt.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The second person was actually in our house when they got injured and they had to take almost a week off. It was
Was
only a
it a titty
week.
twister?
Then we had do
Nuggies? Was it Nuggies? What was the injury?
something to do with his back. He was
Oh,
hoeing. He was moving too much gravel, cleaning up the
he was
gravel.
hoeing.
They had to jackhammer the bathroom floor because it's a slab
Oh, wow.
construction, and he was taking all that out, and he injured himself lifting all that stuff.
That
So he
sucks.
took just a few days off, but still, you know, I mean, it wasn't like there was a claim, there were no doctor bills, but and then the biggest problem was they had slotted us for this time to do the job. And they had the people, they had the job, they were ready to do it. And then Duke Energy took this time, plus this time. And by the time they were actually able to get to our job, they had two other jobs that they had
Well, there was
started.
a hurricane.
So their guys were doing three jobs at once.
There was a hurricane. They had to send help them.
Everyone from Cincinnati apparently decided to go elsewhere. So they couldn't turn off our electric so that our electrician could redo the electric. So no one was able to work in the house until he did what he was supposed to do.
All right, so yeah,
So just a
189
big mess.
was our concert reviews when we saw Mickey Dolenz for your birthday, Lisa, and Aaron saw
That was
PJ
good.
Harvey, and Luca graced us with her presence on that one,
Yeah.
and it was a nice.
Yeah, we could have made that a whole second podcast just based on the positive thinking and letting the universe help you
I've
in your
tried to apply
life.
some of that stuff. It's not easy for
Mm,
me.
no,
I'm more
it's not.
inclined to go to the negative, but
It's not
Oh,
supposed to be easy.
what's that?
mhm,
It's not supposed to be easy
Yeah,
at first.
I get that. Yeah,
yeah.
got to get untracked.
Mhm.
Um,
Is there a book on that?
oh
There's a
yeah,
million
probably.
of them.
Mm.
All right, here we go. Yeah, 190. We got two episodes still to cover.
Okay.
Writers on Record, which I've started calling our writers episodes Writers on Record. I looked it up. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of, you'd think there'd be podcasts out there called Writers on Record. I didn't see a lot of that. So,
Okay.
The Burning Years with Felicity Harley.
Hmm.
And once again, she was,
Science fiction.
yeah, she was an ecologist. You
Hmm.
know, well, not technically an ecologist, but she endorses protecting the planet and, definitely from that political point of view.
Hmm.
And very interesting guest. As
Yeah.
it seems we have had good luck with our guests. We have great guests.
Yeah, they're
That's part of the magic here.
yeah. Yeah, we haven't had any complete duds. Mm-mm.
No, I can't say that we have.
And the last one, best film title of the year.
Yeah. Goon of the Lagoon.
Yeah.
Gino Raphael Payne. And he was not
That
a
was
pain
fun.
either. He was good.
I will say just a little spoiler alert. The title isn't really it's not completely related to the actual subject of the movie. I feel like there could have
Well,
been, but
they call it the
it's a
goon and it lives in a lagoon.
yeah, but it's not a goon. Mhm. I'm
Well,
not going to say what it is, but it's not a goon. It gives you the idea of like monster from the
You're
Black
talking
Lagoon.
about the goon, aren't you?
yeah,
Hmm.
right. That guy was
Hmm.
good. The
He
guy who played
was.
the
He
old man.
was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll learn more about him if you listen to our podcast. But if you can see the movie first, because
Yeah.
there are quite a few spoilers during the
I feel like
podcast.
that's been released since we
Mhm.
saw the version we did, and I do feel
Yeah.
like it was somewhat
Edited.
unedited
Yeah.
because it was 2 hours long. I don't think maybe it is. Maybe it's 2 hours long,
A
but
lot
it
of
was
movies these days are 2 hours, hon. 120 minutes is 2 hours.
yeah.
We've seen movies recently that were 200 minutes.
But it was a throwback. I
Mhm.
thought it was a little bit of a throwback to like the slasher films of the
Little bit.
seven
Yeah.
or the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
but that's not, that's fine. It was good. It
Mhm.
was good. It was well produced.
Yeah.
He was cool. I liked him.
Yeah. Liked him a lot.
Worked on
Wouldn't
Walking
mind seeing
Yeah.
Dead,
him
Game
on
of
other
Thrones.
things. Yeah.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it is. It's our
It's our
Yeah.
2004.
And at the
Not as
bottom, it
many as
reminds
you
me a
might think because,
theme by David T and Mojo 3. Shout out to them.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we toss around a lot of different ideas and concepts for shows we like to do. We're basically just winging it. But
Mhm.
I still have an itch for that the story about the Queen City reservation. You know,
Mhm.
Hmm.
I would still like to
You
do
mean
that.
the zoo situation?
The
Yeah.
Cincinnati Zoo thing.
It
Yeah.
turns out that I think it's etymology, maybe. I can't remember the name of it. But ethnological exhibits
Yes.
are not as effing racist as they seem.
Well,
I mean,
They
when you
are,
think
but
about
but
it, it depends. But the one here in Cincinnati was very equitable for the Native Americans.
well,
And there was even another tribe
they
of
got
Native
paid for it.
Americans who were
Yeah,
like,
but
yeah, we're into this.
well, maybe
We
we
can do
won't.
this.
Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
shelve this
We'll
idea.
let y'all watch us live and pay us for it. So at least they were in on it.
But the thing is,
The ones
yeah,
you
they
can't
after
split.
being run
It's
off their land, they didn't have a lot
right,
of other
like we
options.
said, that's and if you think about it, like the colonial exhibits and the war recreations, the Civil War recreations, and Colonial Williamsburg and Jamestown, where you can go and you can see how people lived back then. I mean, why is it more racist for just because less racist because it's just white people?
Lisa.
What? I mean, I still think that we should talk about this situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just do Aaron's audio edibles.
Yeah.
About
Those white people weren't chased from their land and forced to go from
Just
zoo
because
to zoo
someone,
for
no, but these
asking for
people
money
got
to.
chased from their
You
lands. They
can't,
got a
okay, what
job.
do they call this?
Stop. Stop.
Results-based
Stop.
analysis?
Hmm.
Because they were not slaughtered or because they were not uh
Hmm.
because because some of it accepted that it benefited them a little bit, that it's
That it's
not
okay.
racist. I mean, it's like,
Okay,
no,
stop. Stop. Stop.
that's not the litmus
Stop.
test there.
Okay. These people got jobs. Okay. They got a job and they were doing okay with the job. Okay. They came to Cincinnati and they were fired. No place to go, no extra money.
That's
Their
true. That's all
transportation
true.
was
But
with their
that's
employer. They got a job with the zoo,
As
allowing people
exhibits.
to observe how they would live in their natural habitat, and that gave them enough money to go home. They
That
had an
makes them
employer, they got a job, they were fired, they got a way to go home.
okay.
Okay. I
say, look
mean,
how we subhumans live.
All
yeah.
right.
Well, I mean, it's a different, if it's a different way of life. That's all. I mean, how racist is it for Jane Goodall to go to watch the gorillas? Okay, that's a never mind.
It's
Strike that.
speciest.
Yeah, that was speciest. But like for instance, people who go to South America to observe native tribes there. Okay? Just because it's not in a zoo, is that better?
Yes.
Is it
They're
is
in
it
their
racial?
own habitat. In their own land.
Okay. But these people wanted to go to their own land.
They're
They left their land
they're
voluntarily for a
they're not in
job.
Clifton or wherever the at the zoo.
Right. That job that they got hired for took them away and they found a way to make money. I mean, sure, it was, I don't know. In this day and age, it's racist. Back then, was it racist? No.
The exhibit itself is racist, but
Yes.
what you're focusing on is whether or not they were exploited.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I feel like that could be the focus, exploitation versus racism versus is it okay if you're exploiting
Yeah.
yourself?
well.
Mhm.
That will not be immediately upcoming.
Okay. No.
The next episode we're gonna have Lawrence Hedges is gonna come back to talk about Susie. He's written another book. We've got
Hmm.
part two of movies of 1987,
Hmm.
and we've got
Got one tomorrow, right?
other. Well, that's been postponed also.
Okay.
They're going to be next Sunday and Monday instead of this Sunday and Monday,
Okay, cool.
and so
Didn't we? I thought we already did part two of 1987.
no,
Oh, they're
this
being
one. Well,
released.
yeah, being released.
Okay, I thought we recorded it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll take it
Yeah.
from here. Hopefully, the next upcoming year will be better than the last. Almost
Yep.
certainly will be.
Do we
Yeah.
want to talk about doing 1988 or do we want to do something a little different?
And we'll wait a little bit.
Okay. I have an idea. I would like to send out to our regular panel um, remakes, comparing you choose an
Uh,
original and a
Next
remake.
Monday I just realized next Monday's my first day of work and I have to go in.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, really? You actually have to go there? Will you have
Yeah,
to not regularly go there or
I gotta get my computer and the contractor ID card and
Okay.
all that stuff.
what's your commute on that?
Um, just over an hour when I looked on New Year's Day, which isn't the best barometer.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
An hour when it's perfect.
Are you going to have to drive or can you train?
It's an hour to drive to the Lancaster train station and then probably a 2 hour train ride from there.
Oh,
Holy shit.
so your whole commute would be 3 hours. Or
Yeah,
are you just going to drive
drive.
with that?
God damn.
So an hour to the train and
And I mean, that's on New Year's with no traffic.
Yeah, you got your work cut out
Um,
for you.
I'll look tomorrow and
Mhm.
see what its estimate is.
That's me. I'd go out Sunday and
I mean,
spend the
you're in
night
it.
there.
Is there a
It's only
lot
an
of
hour.
population between you and that train?
Population between me and the train?
Yeah, is it like
It's
heavily populated?
I've never been to Lancaster in my life,
Okay.
as
Maybe
far as
you
I know.
could practice.
No, I only have to go once. I'm just gonna
Oh, okay.
drive
We
the
would,
hour and
knowing us, we would do a practice run.
Oh, I'd be going up Sunday and I'd be spending the
Mhm.
night and
Yeah,
probably that'd be me
probably.
probably.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Go hang out at a hotel for the night right next to the train station.
I'm not an
Mm.
adventure seeker.
No.
Mm-mm.
All right, Aaron. Well,
No.
hopefully you're not.
I was actually shocked that we moved to the west side. Yeah.
West Side.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
was,
considered the West Side?
well, yeah. Mount Healthy, where we go on
You're
to the
still
cross county highway and we go west. It goes all the way to Colerain now. Past Colerain, actually.
Well, we're not real close to Western Hills though, or anything.
Well,
yeah.
technically
I'm
speaking,
thinking you're not
Colerain
near
Avenue is
I-74,
considered
right?
west, but you're right. We're not in Western Hills. We don't have to go up 74 and we don't have to go up Harrison.
Yeah, you're more
We
North Side,
considered
I'd
those
say, if
areas and
anything.
he chose not to move there because he doesn't like that hill. But we are closer to the um we're closer to the Western Hills cinema than we are to the Oakley cinema where we are used to going. We
Uh,
used to live literally a mile from our favorite movie theater, and now we live like 4 miles from the closest one, and 4 or 5, and then like six
we
or 7 miles to get back.
growing up there, like when I saw Star Wars, it was at the Showcase Cinema Springdale.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we're closer to Springdale too than we are. But we don't have Showcase here anymore.
It's um probably owned by Redstone. I don't know what they're calling it
Could be. I
these
don't know.
days, but yeah.
Yeah, we go to a cinema called Cinemark because we have
hmm
a movie membership.
Cinemark's a circuit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it's worth it. For $9.99 a month, you get one free ticket, which is worth $12. Plus, anybody that goes with you, they get the $9.99 price. And then also, you don't have to pay fees if you buy online, and you get 20% off concessions. And if you go to enough movie, you get 25% off concessions. If you upgrade, you like have a pass, plus you earn points, and those points go towards discounts and prizes. And then you can just choose whatever you want. You can go online, you've got your points, you spend your points. So we've literally gone to the movies, the two of us, after an evening movie, uh, with popcorn and soda for $8.47. And then also, if you don't go to the movies this month, your free ticket carries over and you have 2 tickets for the next month. So it's totally, totally worth the price.
Showcase Cinema Deluxe, Springdale, Ohio, Springfield Pike.
All right. Hopefully you're not too much trouble with Luca. And
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think she left. Maybe I can still go get the eggs.
Oh yeah, you
All right,
better.
guys.
Well, just
It's
call your
been
daughter and ask her to pick up some eggs on the way. There's got to be a place with eggs between here and there.
not
But
if she's already on the freeway.
oh, okay.
Maybe.
probably there's probably part of her that wants to go ahead and do it since Aaron's
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right. I'll see you guys.
here.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We have social.
Twitter,
Yeah, pod.
Instagram,
Yeah, pod.
Facebook,
Yeah, pod.
website.
So let us know. Hit us back. Have a great week.